I'm throwing that super sweet corn away.
No, this sweet corn earned a spot in our house.
You can eat it.
It really has. Hey, welcome to episode 6.
I have a little jingle. Snip, snip, snippity snip. Snip, snip, snippity snip.
Let's go. Snip.
I said snip, snip,
snippity snip. Snip, snip, snippity snip.
Woo!
Did you just come up with that on the spot?
Yes.
Oh,
Channeling a little Michael Scott?
sure. Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I thought that was Irina Mazukin original.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can put that on label. I like it.
You're,
Well.
Yeah.
Here we are.
How the turntables
How the turntables
have turned. You should have done this when you had Harper.
No thanks.
Why?
Done what?
You
Got a vasectomy?
No.
I can't.
Got your tubes tied. First of all, it's your body, your
Okay.
choice.
First of all,
Yeah.
I didn't have a C-section, so how could I have had
They
my
can't
tubes
just wheel
tied?
you into the
real
OR.
quick? Hey, while we have you,
You can't just be like,
in the
hey, we're gonna
hospital,
do a little swingaroo.
I feel like I would do it if I had a C-section because it's like
You're there already.
might as well.
You were there already. I hear a lot of
But
people.
she came out the regular way.
The
old
traditional way.
the old tradition. You know what I'm saying?
Call her old fashioned.
Yeah,
She's an old
she
fashioned
wanted-
kind of gal.
Yeah. She was being
Listen, I'll
classy.
tell you this much right now. I was nervous going into this vasectomy. Somebody actually, because I did Instagram stories and somebody was like, "Happy V-Day," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize it's like
I
a
like
thing."
it. Happy V-Day.
Yeah, V-Day.
I'm sorry. I should have got you something.
You didn't give me
I'm so
nothing.
sorry.
You didn't
I'm
give
so
me
sorry.
nothing. You just went swimming with the boys, and I watched Shawshank.
We said peace.
I said I watched Shawshank.
Well, that's what I
Redemption.
gave you. You're welcome. I gave you
My
like 3 hours
solitude.
of alone.
Yeah. Can I be completely honest with you? I don't do alone time often, and it was really
Weird.
nice.
Oh.
No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I hated it.
No. I used to be. I
You
used
didn't
to
hate it.
Well, I used to tell you like I always consider myself to be an extroverted person,
Yeah.
but like the more content I do, the more I realize I'm an introverted
Well,
person.
I think also with 3 kids, you're never alone. You're never alone.
I'm never alone.
You have one of the boys with you always.
Yeah.
If you go to Lowe's,
Yeah.
if you go to the store, like
Yeah.
one child is always with you. So that's
Yeah.
how I feel too.
Yeah. Also, you have to say Home Depot because they're gonna pull sponsorship.
Oh. Kyle, edit that out. Okay. So when you go to Home Depot, like one of the kids is always with you. Okay. And scene.
Cut back. No, I used to always kind of be not afraid of being alone, but it was more of like I didn't like being alone. I used to always like company,
Yeah.
but it was always your company I liked or my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But now that the more I realize, like the more involved I became with our family, and the more I realized, like my friends, like they didn't marry winners like I did. Like they're always on lockdown. They can't always go and do stuff. Like they can only do stuff if you plan with them like 6 months in advance. That after my frustration with them, I started realizing, oh, like, well, I have more freedoms than they do, though I have more alone time with my family. And that when those opportunities come around, I now kind of appreciate alone time more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of embrace it.
They're far and few.
Yeah.
between.
So it was nice to lay on the couch for 3 hours with an ice pack on my groin. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Not how you envisioned your Friday going, did you?
I don't know if I ever sat myself down, because I've anticipated this for the last 2 months. Like it took me a month to plan. It took me a month. So I called in, I booked my consultation, and then that was
Yeah.
a month out. And then I booked.
Less than 2 months, I
Yeah.
would say.
Well,
Well,
it was about. a
did
month.
you call before Harper was born?
Yeah. No, I think I called right when Harper was born.
Yeah, so
like I think she was
little bit
maybe a
under
few
2
days old.
months.
Yeah. And they said it's 30 days out for your consultation because of COVID. So boom, 30 days later we go consultation. I'm thinking after consultation we can just do next week, and they're like, no, we still can't do this till like a month out. So I had like 2 months of like mentally being aware of this. And I will say this, I don't know if I ever set myself down. I've spoken to multiple people telling me like what their experiences were. So I had different stories. Some guys say, hey, it was the worst part was just injections of lidocaine. Other guys were telling me, hey man, that feeling sticks around for like 2 weeks of that, like the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Other people say, hey, just give yourself just 2 days of doing nothing. Trust me, you want those 2 days, and then do some light stuff.
Right.
And then other people tell you like, hey, I got mine done 5 years ago, and every time I have sex, it hurts.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, okay.
So all across
Debbie
the
Downer.
board.
Debbie Downer.
All across the board, different responses.
And then I had one guy, through a DM. He goes, "Hey, good luck with that. 1 in 4 vasectomies work. That's what we got our surprise." And I go, "That's not the statistic my urologist
One
told me.
in 4?
Those 25%. Why would I pay money to go get a procedure? 25%. No,
it's like 99 point something.
Well,
right?
my urologist is like, there's like a 2% chance.
Yeah.
This, like it reverses itself. And I was like, that's 1 in 4, dude.
Yeah,
That's
it's not 1 in 4. Somebody
Yeah.
didn't do math right.
So across the board, everybody's got different experiences. I'll tell this much right now. Wasn't ready for it, and I don't think you could ever be ready for it. I think it's just like I don't know. Like we were talking about
Just
it today.
Get it over with kind of thing.
Well, it's like today, like we're talking about, like you as girls, you guys have like at the very young age. What's the youngest age that a girl starts going to like a gynecologist for like checkups and stuff like that? 11, 12, 14?
11?
I don't know.
You don't even get your period at 11. Well, you could.
Don't put these girls in a box.
I would listen.
If
I was 13.
Okay, you're 13.
I don't.
So how old were you when you started going to a gynecologist? Wow. Is it like me when I started going to get my cavities checked, like at the age of like
I'm
19?
okay. Maybe I shouldn't say because
Why?
I'll get some backlash.
Who's gonna give you backlash? They can't cancel
I
us.
can't remember honestly. 20s?
Okay, 20s. What do most girls go to at what age?
I don't know.
Okay, so can we say 16?
I can't tell you.
Can we say 16?
No, I don't know. Maybe 18.
Are you even a girl?
Let me check.
Well, I'll check for you.
You can't because you have an ice pack on your groin.
That's true.
You start checking. Things are going to start.
I'll rip the stitch right off. And you know what? Might be worth it.
Might be worth it.
So I guess what I'm going with this is, I think the majority of the girls, you gals have this like, it's no surprise to go to a male or female doctor and have them put their hands on your nether regions. And for me, the consultation was the weirdest part because I'm talking to this urologist. He's telling me the procedure. He's asking me about my lifestyle, like making sure that I'm in my like a solid place in life. Telling me what the whatever is, the chances are, and then he's like, "All right, cool." 15 minutes into, he goes, "Okay, drop your pants and underwear, and let me feel your testicles." Like, and that was the weirdest part. Like,
when you did he leave the room first, and you had to do it? Yeah.
It's like he never even
Common
left money.
courtely.
He never even left money on the dresser.
Yeah.
Like usually they.
So he left.
We talked about
you
this.
dropped your pants.
Yeah,
and then he came back.
He got a feel on.
No. Did he leave first, have you drop your pants, and then come back?
No.
You just dropped your pants right in front of him?
Yeah.
See, at least like the gynecologist has the decency to leave the room, let you undress.
Okay.
You know, be a little comfortable.
No. It was the first time in my life that the other person was sitting in front of me, and I dropped my pants. And you know what's interesting? A lot of my friends who did sports in high school, they told me that that's not an uncommon thing for guys who did sports because they would have to get, I believe, like physicals or something like that. So the whole like grab their junk, turn your head and cough. And I didn't really do sports when I was younger, so I didn't. These are untouched balls. You know what I mean?
By a man, you mean?
By a man, yeah. And so that was the first situation there. That was a big shocker. I left violated. I didn't Me Too him, but I just felt like we could save that for later.
You didn't what?
Me Too him.
Me too.
You know? And then so 30 days later,
did you get his phone number at least, or
no? I just
Facebook,
all
or
I know
Instagram
is,
handle,
all I know
or
is
what?
his first and last name.
Yeah.
And I have a
Just
feeling.
look him up.
I have a feeling he's taken. He's a nerdy type. He's not my type. You know, I'm shallow. You know,
Yeah. What's your type?
I need him to be like the athletic build.
Listen,
Dr. Jackson. So I go in today, and he told me that one of the things they can do is they could prescribe like a one-time dose of Valium just to take the edge off, because apparently guys have this tendency to get a little like panic attack and tense and whatnot.
And what does that do?
Valium is
no, I mean like if you're too tense.
Oh, you just freak out.
Then what?
Well, I mean, I don't think your genitals go into your body or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like you just can't chill out. You know what I mean? You're like just.
So does that make the procedure like harder to do?
Yeah, the guy's gonna go, no, don't do it, don't wait.
That hurts me. Stop! I'm not even touching you.
Trust me, the doc doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to be part of that. So I think the Valium is just for you to get an edge off, where you'd be like, all right,
relax.
Okay, here we go. Okay, and you're already there. You're kind of committed. And so I told him, but he said,
do they? And why is it that they don't just put you under?
Well, because it's like a 15-minute procedure. There's no
It's too
need.
simple.
Well, yeah, there's no need. It's to me, I have this feeling of because it's not so invasive. Like moms who deliver babies in a C-section, they don't put them under.
That's true.
Yeah, C-section. So why would they put? Yeah, there's no. They only put people under. Like it's a very invasive thing if they need to put you under. Like if they can get around with not putting somebody under under anesthesia, they won't do it. So
You don't have to.
yeah, could you imagine a mom gives birth to triplets in a C-section, doesn't go under, but a guy in his 30s gets a vasectomy that takes 15 minutes?
Please, doctor, put me under. I can't do this.
Give me propofol, put me on the ventilator.
Yeah.
Like
I don't care. Just do it.
that's a straight up inpatient thing. Like I'm
Yeah.
spending 24 hours at the hospital kind of thing. No, they just come in there. So like today he came in. First of all, like I said, I didn't take a Valium. And I said, because he says, if you take a Valium, you just can't drive yourself home. And I didn't want to like burden you to be like, hey, can you drive me and then pick me up in like 30 minutes? So
I mean, I would have just gotten coffee and.
well, that makes that makes sense. But like, it's just, it's one of those things when you have multiple kids like hanging around, like there's things to do. So you're like, well, how can I make at least,
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
like before you used to drive me to the airport, when I would go on these business trips, and now I'm like with 3 kids, I'm like, I'm not gonna ask you to drive me to the airport. Like I'll spend the $16 and get an Uber. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
So
Especially because you go at like 4 a.m.
So yeah, right. So I go in there and I told the dog, I was like, can't I just take like a swig of whiskey and then like go in? He's like, that's fine as well. So like I poured myself, you saw in like Beckham's Gatorade bottle, like that was empty, like a little bit of orange juice and like a shot or two of whiskey, and I shook it up and I walked in till I entered the building of the clinic, and right before I entered, I chugged it, threw it in the garbage, went in, got checked in, got undressed, and then.
Was it pretty quick? Like,
well,
check-in and stuff?
Check-in was quick. Yeah, there was no issues and all that stuff. But it's like, it was like a female nurse, and like she had a wedding ring on. I have a wedding ring on, and she's like, okay. So from what I hear is there's the nurse preps you for this thing, right? So she's allegedly she's the one that like, if you need some manscaping, she'll manscape you.
I was just gonna ask you.
Oh, I
manscape. Did you shave
Oh,
yourself?
I manscape. Oh yeah, I manscape. Because I thought I'd get a smaller bill.
Because it took them less time to get around.
Hey, can we get like a 10% discount? Because I did the work.
They have to like go through the jungle. They just.
Well, I was like, well, yeah,
it was
like,
more like the
the
desert.
nurse didn't do anything but put like drapes over me, so it's like and tape my penis to my stomach, like
At least. Your
Sorry,
belly button.
did I say stomach? Oh, I said chest. Sorry.
Chest. Sorry, all the way to my nipples. Right in between.
Multiple rolls of tape.
Yeah, it just would not.
I feel like the beginning of this podcast, we should have said, by the way, this is a disclaimer.
Oh,
if you
yeah, sorry.
don't feel
Maybe
comfortable.
we should.
Yeah, if you don't feel comfortable having sex ed conversations, please tune out. But hey, listen, you're too late.
Too late. You're already in. You're invested because you want to hear the rest of the story and how it ends.
Yeah.
There's a twist. There's a plot twist.
Yeah. Turns out Alex got a boob job instead.
Yeah. Look at him now.
Yeah. So she does it. And here's another thing. So when you see a married woman, again, I think the mentality would be different if I was a single guy and the nurse was like a single gal, or hell, if she was married, that'd be fine. But when you're happily married and a gal who's married is working at a urologist at a men's clinic to do these vasectomies, like she does the prep work before the doc comes in.
Right.
She's making small talk about my kids and stuff like that while I can't see, and all she sees like is my like testicles, and she's taping things off. And I'm always like,
as she's asking you about how many kids you have.
Like I don't mind talking like that. Sorry, I gotta fix my ice pack. But I don't mind having these conversations with somebody who is a guy, like the doc. Like I'm like, okay, that's fine. It gets my mind off of this. We're adults. But like when you're a female that's married and I'm a male that's married, and we're like my nether regions are exposed, and you're talking to be among my family, like it's so strange. It's
well, because that's something you don't ever experience.
No.
When else would you? This is
no, absolutely. And so fortunately, because I did half the work, she didn't have to do much. So the doc came in relatively quick, and he came in and he's like, "You good? Okay, cool. Let's get started." And he gave me one injection, and that's the painful part. Is like the initial injections of lidocaine. Now the needles are really thin, so you feel like a solid, like grab your skin, like, or if you're a guy, grab your and just with just straight up nails. Pinch your scrotum. That's one injection. And then like the first one, not bad at all. And then the second one, it's like they got more internals, which I don't know exactly where they were injecting them, but it was just like,
Was it in different areas?
yeah, there's 3 different areas. In fact, I actually asked for the 4th injection just because I feel like I earned a credit because I did half the work of like grooming. And so
you're trying to be up. Like
it's just there's this
with me,
right?
You know, I'm like up here,
right?
and you're like,
He's like, I give people usually 3 injections. I was like, I want 4.
Give me 4. I want to tell my wife I got 4.
I'll pay extra for the 4th.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one time you don't want to, guys. If you're penny pincher, don't skimp out on an extra lidocaine injection on your scrotum. Like, just listen,
just get it.
You'll appreciate it.
Pay that fee.
So it was interesting because the injected one, I was like, oh, okay, not bad. Second one is like, I felt more internal. So like you feel that like queasiness in the, I described this on my Instagram story. Like it's like the queasiness in your stomach. Like you feel a little nauseous, the taste of copper in your mouth. And then, finally got all done. And then he started cutting away. And here's the weirdest part of this whole procedure. Like it didn't take long. He kept, we actually spoke about like politics, which is weird. Like me and him were just kept
during
talking.
it.
Yeah. I mean, some people don't want to talk.
Are you sitting or laying?
I'm laying like I'm giving birth. Like my legs are kind of up. Well, my legs are flat actually.
Oh, did you have to use the
stirrups?
The stirrups?
Stirrups? No, I did not. I actually asked, like, should I get my legs up? They're like, no, just lay them down.
Yeah, you're like,
well,
is this right?
Yeah, it's also weird that they're like moving your scrotum side to side, and you're like, okay, dude, stop. Like, I feel like
pick a side, choose a side.
Yeah, either ask me to do it or just like have one turn. That's
or
it.
buy me dinner first.
Right? Like, what are you doing? Like playing Super Mario Smash Brothers? Like it was weird. But what was the weirdest thing? So like when they make their incision, they have this little cauterizing gun or knife, which is like basically it looks like a soldering knife that's like really hot, and as soon as it touches vessels or arteries or something like that, it burns them. That's the point, is to make them crispy basically, and to make it stop bleeding or whatever. You're blocking it off. And it makes it a little bit of a flesh smell. I didn't smell it because I had my COVID mask on. And as soon as he did the first one, you see this cloud of smoke rise, and obviously the doctor is right over your like crotch, and he goes, smoke's rising as if it's like a sizzling steak, and he like dips his head out of the way,
like missing it.
Look, sorry, dude, my genitalia burn is in your face. I'm sorry.
Sorry, is that making you want to look away?
Yeah, I'm the one that has my scrotum cut right now.
Do you want to ask me how I'm feeling?
Yeah. Do you want to ask me if I feel safe right now? And the answer is no.
I don't.
Because you're the one with a cauterizing knife. You're the one.
Can
with
you imagine if he was like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I was
like
gagging? I'm sorry.
Gagging, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if there's something I could take. I don't know what the internal of my scrotum was.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, my
And guess
scrotum.
What? And you kept the married nurse chick around here, so that's
why
not.
Why is she even hovering? I don't understand.
It takes one of you to do this, so why?
Why is she just looking over my shoulder?
And to be completely honest with you, I'm paying for one of you, so why is the other one here? I feel like you could take an extra $100 off
that student learning
the resident.
Yes.
No. She's like the straight up nurse. The nurses, they're like they're the hidden heroes of like the medical field, because the nurse preps everything, gets the paperwork started, the doctor comes in, does the thing, which is like usually 15 minutes, and then the doctor just throws his gloves away, has the nurse clean up, document, charge, and everything. And so the doctor's basically
spends like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the doctor is like the that rich guy that comes in and goes, you clean up.
Yeah. No, you clean up.
Yeah.
One of these.
Yeah.
Out of here.
You got this, right, Janet?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, and so I think when I was putting my shorts on, I still felt numb.
And violated?
It was weird. Like, we never shook hands or anything like that.
Like, how do you part after that?
I don't know.
Did you guys bow? Or?
He basically told me to put my pants on and leave, which is okay. I guess that's what we're doing.
Yeah. You didn't know where to go? Where's the door? What do I do with my hands?
I actually asked him. I said, so do I tell the front desks that I'm done? Or they're like, yeah, just, tell them you're done. And just like wave out emotion. I'm like that. I'm like, oh.
Just say
there's
peace.
No directions. Like, I don't know if, and we really connected about this whole political thing that we're talking. I was like, I feel like we're Facebook friends at this point.
Should I add you? Is
it
weird?
Would it be weird if I added you as my Facebook friend?
Yeah.
But hey, listen, it turns out, from some of the Instagram stories I did, turns out not a lot of guys had as I want to say a smooth experience as I did. Like some guys were talking about how they were like, one guy's like, my lidocaine didn't take on me, and I almost passed out
From the pain.
he said they're putting like my head in an ice bath, like to like keep me like not fainting. And I was like, oh, you sound like a pussy.
Yeah.
That's what you sound like.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple other people who were just, again, they said it lingers. So like the post operation thing was more of it legit. Once a lidocaine wears out quick, like that lidocaine wore out like within 25 minutes or something like that. Of their yeah, it's very quick. And right away, and I like I said, I share this today already, but like it feels like I would say I'd put it this way: the after feeling like of the day of feels worse than the whole process itself, because once it's done and the lidocaine wears off, it feels like somebody kicked you in the groin and you have that like nausea, copper taste in your mouth, queasy feeling in your stomach and above your pelvis, and that's the part that you're like, it's an all day getting kicked in the groin kind of feeling. Now, I've had a few drinks, I had some dinner, had some Tylenol, I feel fine now. And I've been icing nonstop, but we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Well, that kind of makes sense because, like, even with surgeries or anything like that, it always hurts that like second day. Yeah. The incision, you know, like the actual area where you got the surgery.
What did how did you feel after giving birth to 3 kids? Like the next day, did you feel? Because I don't know if you gals have the same receptors of like, because you and I were talking about it. I was like, listen, like I think less guys would be afraid of this procedure if it was not on the scrotum, but it was like up, like on the either the penis or like on the pelvis or something like that, like right above, like yeah. But it's just such a tender area. Did you feel like that? Because you've had some tearing with the kids.
The tearing is what it is, yeah.
But like the next day, how'd you feel? Either the same day, like later in the evening. Or like what? Like let's say, how'd you feel a couple hours after delivery with tearing, and the next day? Did you feel like, like I?
Yes, it hurts, especially if they stitch you up,
right?
Because then you can really feel it, and then like trying to go to the bathroom, it's like this stinging pain because it's like an actual cut on your privates. Would you feel the same pain if like let's say then, okay, so imagine like your inner thigh, you had stitches put in your inner thigh, right? Which you're limping, right? You're like walking, like everything is like like you're walking on coals. That feeling versus like the most tender part of like a sexual organ. It hurts way worse because it's such a sensitive area in your body.
So do you think? So what you're saying is,
so like
your
my
delivery,
pain was way worse.
That's what
than
I'm
yours.
getting from you. Interesting. I don't know. I feel like we need to make a poll. Like
yeah, but also let's be honest. While we're on the subject, your surgery was about. Would you even call it a surgery? Your procedure.
No, procedure's fair.
Was like a total of
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
I've given birth 3 times.
Okay. I knew you were gonna go with this. Okay, so here's what
with Jack it was 20 hours.
Okay.
So yours was 20 minutes.
Okay. Now can I throw?
Are you gonna counter? Don't you dare!
Can I listen? If the court sees it in my favor, if the court sees it fit, I'd like to counter with this.
Yeah. Objection? Is that what you're trying to say?
Objection,
Your Honor. Slandering.
Would you agree? Wouldn't you agree that the female body is an incredible creation?
Incredible vessel.
Would you agree? You would, wouldn't you? Okay.
I plead the fifth.
Hold on. You would agree that the female human body specifically is, in the words of John Legend, your body's a wonderland, right? Like
that's John Mayer.
Babe. Well, one of the Johns. John once said, "Your body's a wonderland." Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you've admitted yourself, you have a very high pain tolerance, right? Let the record show. Now,
I'm going to remain silent until I know where you're getting.
I truly believe that when your body says, you know, they always say like the doulas or the midwives or the doctors that deliver baby, they said, let your body do what it needs to do or created to do.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So you are going into your body's telling you you're going in active labor. So your pelvis is dilating, your body's releasing certain chemicals in your body, and you can agree with this that some of the chemicals is epinephrine, the adrenaline response that's being released in the body. Oh, you turn that valve off.
Yeah, mine was not on. Let's just say, like somebody had leaked it. Turn the valve on like hours before, and then when it came time, it was empty.
You should go have my epinephrine guy check you out.
You know what though? It's weird. It's hard to say because each of my labor and delivery has been so different. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I did experience some of that like adrenaline high euphoria.
Oh wow! Beckham. You know what? One word I wouldn't describe in any one of my the 20 minutes of the operation today.
Did I say euphoria? I meant
you said euphoria. I had zero euphoria.
No. It's that feeling of like my body is in control. But during that moment, I didn't feel it. It was more of the after.
Listen, my doctor.
That's what I'll say.
My doctor played pickleball with my testicles. All right.
Yeah. But I've done that too. So.
It's true. It's true. But you didn't have a scalpel. Right? And I told you.
Stop playing pickleball.
Stop playing pickleball.
You can play table tennis, but pickleball's off limits.
I just want to be intimate with you right now. Stop bringing sports into the bedroom. Kyle, that needs to be a clip in itself. Stop playing pickleballs with my testicles.
Yeah.
No. So, but like, okay. So, would you say that once you had all the tearing, the next day when you were in bed, like just laying there, did you feel that active queasiness, painful, or is it only when you were moving around and doing stuff?
I would say the worst pain after labor and after that whole experience is actually internal pain and not external. So
like spiritual pain? Yeah,
just like like your emotional pain. Wow. It's your the worst pain actually for me was when the uterus would contract inside your stomach, which is probably what you're kind of like what you're feeling with the
my uterus contracting,
nausea. Yeah, your uterus is just contracting.
Did it taste like copper pennies in your mouth?
Yeah, sure.
We can go get the kids' piggy bank, and we'll take a handful of pennies and put it in your mouth, and we'll see and just see
what it tastes like.
If you're like, oh yeah, this is what happened when.
Yeah. How does that? Do you know why you get that?
Like anatomically?
Yes.
I think your testicles release a couple of pickles or a couple of pennies.
Either it could be pickles or pennies, depending on your procedure, right?
I don't know. Listen, so the day before,
because the only time I've had that copper taste feeling is when I got a concussion.
You had a concussion?
Yeah.
Is this why you married me? Because you were like thinking straight?
Yeah. From snowboarding.
Wow. Is that when you broke your clavicle?
It's like that metallic.
First of all, we need to make sure that we tell people that you did that before we got married. Yes. So it's.
That was crazy.
I already got damaged goods right away.
Yeah. So how do you feel
Is that when you broke? Is that when you got your clavicle broken?
I think it was a different time.
Wow, you were reckless before we got married. Jeez.
I was only on the snow.
Oh wow. I feel okay.
But
I got it like.
I'm just wondering, anatomically, what happens to your body that makes you taste that?
I don't know. I think I've never looked into it.
We should research
because
it.
I don't want to type into my Google search like what happens when you get hit in the balls, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of very gruesome things.
You don't want to see the images from that.
Yeah. It's weird because the day before this, obviously yesterday, I had we're playing baseball with the boys and Beckham decided to crack that baseball off the tee just the right way that when I was videotaping, it just flew at me. Fortunately, it was like a tennis ball.
So he gave you a little
I actually thought about that. I literally, I was like, oh, I wonder if this is going to be remotely close to tomorrow.
What's going to feel like?
And
it's
right
you're
away,
welcome, Dad.
That's the best. That's the best. And everybody says who's gotten this done. I feel like everybody's describing this exact same way. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there's just one freaking connective thing that's happening from here to here, but I'll tell you this much right now. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, but I think the selling point on it is the fact that it is such a short procedure. Mm-hmm. It is a very in and out kind of thing.
Not high risk or anything.
If I was to, I feel like if I had to do it again, I wouldn't be as scared as I am now, just because I kind of already know what to anticipate. Mm-hmm. But let's just
hope you don't have to do it again.
As long as the guy is really good with his lidocaine injection,
yeah,
he gets that 3 spots well and or gives you an extra spot, you should be good to go from that point on. Like it's just it's as numb as like your leg being falling asleep. Like you're just. But then after that, and everybody told me this, and that's just what the advice that I got is like, listen. The day of and the next day, just do nothing. Don't even try to help your wife out. Even if she asks you to hold a baby, don't do it.
Yeah.
They're saying
even if she just looks at you with her puppy dog eyes.
If she's like, hey, can you give me that cup of coffee? Say no. Just say no. Say
because you are allowed to. Say,
you
I was told.
I was told by medical professionals to do nothing. If you're like,
I can't even lift my hands up.
If you're going out the door and your wife's like, oh, hold the door for me, don't do it.
Yeah.
Fight that urge.
You will regret it.
You'll regret it.
Your balls will regret it.
Do you want to be that 2% chance of this vasectomy not working? Then do nothing.
Don't do it.
Yeah, your balls. That's the new merch we should do. Your balls will regret it. Will regret it. If we ever get big enough in this podcast that we have a line of merch, that'll be our first line of merch. Is like
I like it. There was another one too.
Your
that
balls.
We had.
What was it? Was it cleanliness makes me hard or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so now we have 2.
Oh, geez, man, we have a whole fall line of merch.
We'll have a line, yeah. From each episode.
Your balls will regret this. Cleanliness makes me hard.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
good.
Great. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it went well because I have heard people saying like infections happening. Yeah.
Well, I mean, any procedure has the risk of infections.
Exactly, and it could happen. Yeah. So.
My doctor.
Nothing.
My doctor did tell me, he's like, if swelling's an issue, because he's like ice pack every 20 minutes. I was like, okay. So I've been living with ice packs on my groin all day, and he's like, if swelling becomes an issue, come to the hospital. And I'm like, wait a second. So we're already anticipating swelling because obviously there's been a cut, right?
Right.
You didn't prescribe any anti-inflammatory, so we're just banking on ice. I was like, how much swelling are we talking here?
Dude, give me a ballpark of swelling.
Well, can we not say ball? Like,
give me
a park. Give me a
park of
swelling.
How much swelling?
And I was like, are we talking about like if it's like a? Okay, I'll share this much right now. So in my previous life as a respiratory therapist working in the adult ICU, obviously I've been in a lot of situations where we have some pretty sick people that were there, and I specifically remembering taking care of a guy who I don't even remember what he was in for, but it was like a Hispanic guy, went into some sort of respiratory failure. Anywho, the body goes into a process called like third spacing, and that's like sometimes it happens when they've been on the ventilator for too long of a period of time, and sometimes it happens just because it's some kind of like acute injury. But like it's like the fluid in the body shifts into like a path of like least resistance when it's like laying for a while. And sometimes people's legs get swollen, right? That's why they'll put those SCDs that like on the legs and they'll like compress, so it pushes the fluid up into the rest of your body to you don't throw clots. But sometimes it goes into their belly and their belly swells up, and sometimes on like I think 2 or 3 occasions I've been part of it where the path of least resistance, it goes into their scrotum.
Ooh.
And I've watched this 20-something-year-old and like a 50-year-old, I think, at 2 different situations where that's where the third spacing happened. And I swear, and I do not kid you by anything, this vase right here.
No.
This bottom part right here.
No.
I swear to you.
How does how can it expand that big?
How can your vagina stretch to deliver a 7, 8, 9 pound baby? Right? Creation. It's not even an over exaggeration. If you want to look up like swollen, we're not talking about elephantitis like on the testicles, like the diseases. No, it's straight up fluid. I've seen it like
wow.
I've been in situations where we had to tape that 20-something-year-old scrotum with like tape up and wrap the tape around the belly to just keep it from like pulling down. You know what I mean?
So what do you do at that point?
Nothing. You just allow for over time the thing to like the fluid get reabsorbed into the rest of the body.
Somewhere else.
You just give support. Like you give diuretics to the fluid to move off the body. But
wow.
It's when somebody's in bed for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, like third spacing tends to start happening, and Man, I swear, right this size, and we put tape around and we wrapped it around his thing. So
at that point, are they usually unconscious?
Oh, the penis is like this big, by the way. No, they're usually sedated.
Okay.
There's some pain. Well, and like, yeah.
So it's not like they're like, oh my God.
No. We'll do what's called a awakening trial. Well, we ease off on the sedation on them to tolerate the ventilator and stuff like that, to like wake up to see their status, whatnot. But most of the time we just turn the sedation back on because they're going to be in pain everywhere. They're going to freak out, not tolerate the ventilator, all this other, crazy stuff. But no, it's incredible how large. Now, I've never seen that with a woman. Like, I've never seen like a female patient was like, oh my gosh, her like vagina, like, and like all the tissue around it stretched out to like, where it looked like, 2 fists around it, right? You know what I mean? Like, it was never swollen. That. It was only with guys, so maybe it's like a spatial issue, which kind of makes sense. But
you got the space in there.
I guess, man, that's and it was the weirdest part of that experience. I have to take care of him. He got better. He got out of the ICU, went home.
Yeah.
Beautiful story.
Happy now.
But I remember
5 kids,
the
nurse,
wife. The nurse that I worked with, I was like, because I knew what floor he got, shipped to, like just like for lower acuity, and I was like, is it weird of me that I want to go to visit him to his room, tell him who I am, that I took care of him, and like to just be like, hey man, I don't want to make it weird, but can I see your balls?
Yeah.
Just to see what came, like how did it go back
like,
to?
Like, do they like just?
I don't know.
Like,
I didn't see how the sausage is made. I just felt like I was at a place to ask to see another guy's balls.
Yeah. Too bad you didn't, huh?
Yeah. There's a lot of things I regret in life, and that's one of the things.
One of them. That's number what on the list?
Well, there's riding a unicorn, and then there's that's
number
top
4?
5 for sure. That's top 5 for sure. So now every time I go pee with my buddies, I always try to make sure I catch a glimpse just to see where I am in the totem pole of the package that we're carrying it, and also seeing if their scrotum is swollen or anything like that.
So you could tell them.
Oh, you can tell.
That's the path of least resistance.
So you're telling you're telling me you never go like, I'm gonna catch a glimpse, see if that chick's packing what I'm packing.
In terms of breasts?
No, genitalia.
What could you be packing in a woman's genitalia, first of all?
Well, we saw what could come out of it.
No. Yeah. Besides children.
This has to be the most rated R podcast we've done so far. Yes. So that's cool. We got one.
Sorry, people.
If this is the after hours one.
Yeah. After hours. Yeah. The midnight edition.
So got the vasectomy and here I am. Just been watching movies today and chilling on the couch. A lot of ice packing. At
any point before, during, or after, did you feel like, oh crap, was this the right decision?
I don't know if I would say.
Because it's so permanent.
Yeah. And by the way, my doctor said it's such a false TV thing to say that you can reverse them. You can. He says the success rate is like less than like 10% or something like that. Yeah. I wouldn't say, oh crap, is this permanent, like a tattoo kind of feeling?
No, not even like permanent. It's more like, did you have any second like guessing your decision?
There was one moment that I was after I took my pants off and I laid before the nurse prepped me, and I was laying there and I was wondering in my head, I was like, it not like should I be doing this, but it's like just I allowed for myself to go to that place just to ask myself, would I have any doubt?
So you went to this place,
mm-hmm.
and then the other you was there.
Did you not cup the testicles when you do that?
So you went to one place, and then you were there at the other place.
I need another Don't figuratively grab my balls in this hair.
Because you can feel it.
Yeah, don't do that.
I can figuratively feel it.
Don't do it. They're still fresh. No, I think as a responsible human being, I needed to ask myself those questions.
Right.
Would this be, would I regret this like in a couple of weeks? And what kind of took me to a place.
But not even a couple of weeks, but like a couple of years.
Well, yeah, maybe a couple of years. And I went to that place mentally. And the scenario that I painted to myself is we have 2 boys and now we have a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And we always discuss that time is something that we don't have much of free time because we're always working.
Right.
And I've always had an argument because I think I was used to be done with 2 kids.
Yeah, for a while there.
Yeah. And then we went to the idea of 3 kids.
I pushed you into the idea of 3 kids.
I
nudged you.
And you nudged me. Yeah. What's those little office desk little artifact things where it's like a bunch of metal balls hanging?
Oh, the pendulum. Yeah. Isn't that the pendulum?
No, that's not a pendulum, but they do the thing with like 8 balls hanging and the one ball hits it. It's
called something.
Yeah. Anywho, I went to that place just to make sure that I'm not going to get to a place of like, hey, I wish we had one more. Our kids, is this not entertaining?
I'm looking it up.
What do you?
Because I don't believe you.
That thing?
Yeah.
The desk artifact?
Well, the pendulum is what is like the swinging.
Yeah. It's one.
It is.
It's still called a pendulum, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The desk thing, huh?
Yeah, the desk thing is just decorative, but it's still a pendulum.
Okay, well, I'm still.
I just wanted to make sure. Just wanted you to know that I was right.
Okay, I believe you.
Let's acknowledge.
I still don't like.
We're just like no acknowledge.
Sure, no, we'll acknowledge. We'll give you the credit. I just don't.
Can we just like sit on it for like a couple minutes?
Don't like to talk about anything that has balls.
But pendulum. You're the one who said it. You're the one who mentioned the balls on the desk.
Oh, jeez.
Gosh.
Oh, jeez. I took myself to that place because I didn't want to regret it ever. And one really big deciding factor for me, honestly, was the fact that how much more different this last pregnancy for you was. Mm-hmm. Realize that your body, what it did in its 20s having kids versus what it did in its 30s, it responded differently. And the bleeding that happened with you and the baby not turning, it's like, there is just like any kind of professional athlete, the body is most prime at certain age groups, both men and women. They have their own different number, and it made sense. And other people don't have that. Some people have kids, 6 kids into their early,
they feel great,
late
they look
30s.
great. Yeah.
And
so that was your deciding factor, me?
Yeah, it was.
My safety, my health.
Well, listen, I always tell the kids every night before I kiss them, I said,
your
mom's more important than you.
Yeah, I love her so much more than I love you.
No, but it's like we've said as before, it's if you're going to ask this very puzzle-like questions, who do you love more, your kids or your spouse? And we've had this discussion before, is I love you more than them, and I have to brace people before I answer, is I love you more than them because you were there first.
And I'll be there when they're gone.
Wow, that's a dark place to go, lady.
No, I mean like when they leave.
What are you going to do?
I mean when they fly away from the nest.
Psycho, what are you going to do?
I mean when they fly away from our nest.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, absolutely. But like,
I'll still be there.
Without you, there wouldn't be them, right? So the hierarchy is I will always take a bullet for our kids. I'll always give my absolute end for my kids. And you will sacrifice my attention for you that I give it to our kids. But the love is that you were there before they were, and so I take that as a priority that I have to consider that. Hey, if we ever get to a point where it's like, should we get another kid? Well, this will be a definitely deciding factor of either A, no more kids, or B, let's adopt if we ever get to a place where like, listen, we have more time now, right. We have more resources, and it's just your safety was more important to me. That the amount of bleeding that took place with the last kid that didn't happen with the first kids, and we had 2 false visits to the hospital before the babies.
This was a game changer pregnancy for me.
You were pre-dilated for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
You went into early preterm labor.
33 weeks.
So that was the game. That was the big deciding factor. That when my mind went to that place, it goes, oh. I don't think I'm ever going to regret this unless you decided to leave me and I met some other gal.
Have somebody else's baby.
But that's an ultimate boss
move.
Like
I always say it, I'm like 95% sure our kids are yours. So
yeah, listen, I'll take those odds. Those are good gambling odds. But I think that's such a boss move on your end when you're like, I got his lineage. And then if this never worked out before,
I have him by the literal balls.
If for whatever reason you like leave me, it's like, so if I meet somebody else, you're like, you can't.
Still can't have kids.
It's such a power move.
Lady, just to let you know, he can't have children.
Yeah, he's done.
Cut him off.
Yeah, I took it all and I cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's. Yeah, so I did. I had to ask myself that question, but
that's valid. I think I had a lot of those. What
did you have any? Did you have any like, should he do this kind of thing?
No, honestly, I thought I would. To be honest, because I'm so indecisive.
You are indecisive.
Yeah. I'm very indecisive. So when you left to go get the procedure,
you texted me, don't do it. Don't do it.
I was like, at one point, like, I remember you telling me it's 10:45, and then, like, at one point it was like 10:50, and I was like, I thought I would be way more emotional about it. Like, okay, like, you know, we're done for sure, but no, I had no.
What do you mean? Okay, explain to me emotional. Because what do you mean by like emotional? Like emotional, like wow, Alex is taking it for the team and getting his huevos cut out, or
emotional as in like we've always talked about. This is our last one. When I was still pregnant, we said 3 is like our number. We're probably done, but it was always this hypothetical, right? Mm-hmm. So I thought it'd be emotional at just like processing the fact that this 1000% is our last one, right? Mm-hmm. I was not emotional. I felt like 0 emotions.
Oh, wow. Hey, Alex, go take a knife to your balls.
No emotion.
No emotion. 0 emotions.
Yeah.
You know,
not like 0 emotions, but like no negative or sad emotions, I should say.
I would have taken like no doubt.
Yeah,
I had no doubt, but no sad emotions about Alex taking this one for the team.
Yeah, I just felt good. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt right.
Hey,
felt like it was like.
You told me, get him, champ.
Yeah, go get him. I think I did. I said, go get him, champ. You got this. No, I think I was talking to them though, not you.
I had so many DMs that were like empowering. That's so that's the most manliest thing I've seen. Where usually it's guys making women go getting their tubes tied because they feel like they're less of a man when they're. Here you're going, go get him, champ.
Go get him, champ.
You got this.
You got this, son. Yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna say?
Oh, jeez. I feel like I need a medal of
honor.
Well, yeah, something.
Some kind of gold medal.
Chick-fil-A. Something to.
I know. I should have got you some flowers.
Yeah. You didn't even.
Not only you
didn't get me anything to congratulate me or thank me, but when I requested for you to go pick me up ibuprofen at Target, you forgot.
I got a vase, but I forgot your ibuprofen.
I feel like you don't appreciate my vasectomy.
Yeah. In my defense, I had 2 out of 3 kids, so. But I found a cute vase.
Oh, I'm just glad. Tell me more about the vase.
Yeah, and a candle.
Oh, what's
it's a fireside.
Fireside?
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah, worth it. Worth it for not remembering the ibuprofen, for sure.
Yeah, so no, I'm just glad you got the candle you wanted. Was it a magnolia?
Yes.
Nailed
Thank
it.
You.
Nailed it.
You know me.
Well,
that's it for us.
Is that how much more can we get out of my testicles?
Vasectomy? Yeah. I think we've squeezed everything out, if you know what I'm saying.
My stomach gets queasy.
I think I will have vasectomy jokes for days after this. Just saying. I'm not done.
I'm going to prolong my rehabilitation period. I'm going to be like,
I'm still sore.
I can't. Can you give
3
me
weeks later,
Can you give me water?
Yeah. Come.
Feed me this pizza.
Come on.
And then give me a sip of the beer.
Yeah. Slower. Feed it to me slower.
All right, let's get into these some of these current events because I want to get back to laying on the couch.
You poor thing.
So this one right here, I think this is like right up your alley because this is like a design inquiry. A retiree from Oregon buys a Boeing 727 and converts it into a home. So what this guy did in Hillsboro, Oregon, bought this old, like early, like late 1990s to early 2000s Boeing 727, which is like a really traditional transport airline aircraft, and everything's stripped inside of it, and he got it placed on like a couple acres of land of his, and it's just chilling there. Like it was strategically placed. Like it wasn't land or anything like that.
Well, my question is, how did he get it?
Well, I'm sure they delivered it. They can deliver it.
No, I mean, like, how did he acquire it?
How
did he buy it?
The article didn't say how did he buy it. He paid about $100,000 for it. They said $100,000. Which
is less than a house. So
less than a house, sure, but kind of like I would kind of pin it along the side of like one of those double wide trailers. Wide trailers are, I think, probably like $50,000 or something like that.
Okay.
The article didn't say how he acquired it. It said what he paid for it. I think what it was is kind of like the government. There's usually government auctions where like I remember when we met.
Someone's selling an airplane.
I had a retired 2001 or something like that Ford Explorer, which was like an old sheriff's car. And that's when they strip all the decals off of it, and then you just have this basic.
White.
I wonder if it was like at a state auction kind of thing, where like they just auction it off.
Who wants a Boeing?
And so this guy is basically so far he's treating it as like almost like a hostel, where like if travelers want to stop by, they can spend the time there. But he's like he's trying to convert it where like the community takes advantage of it. So it's very like it's totally an Oregon thing too, where like I want the
Whoever
community.
wants to come stay.
Yeah, I just want like any travelers, spiritually or emotional or physical travelers to. Oh, he's definitely gonna get like herpes or something for sure.
Or murdered.
Oh, for sure. Well, not in Oregon. I don't know if people get murdered in Oregon. I think it's like I don't know if that's like I don't really hear that many stories of people getting murdered in Oregon yet, unless they're at a rally.
Exactly, unless they're at a protest.
But where would you I guess my question for you is, do you have any ideas how you can make, if I came to you and we had like 20 acres of land and I said, hey, listen,
I bought a plane.
It doesn't fly, it's retired, we're going to park in the property. Do you feel like you could design it and style it inside where it could be like a cool, entertaining space?
Well, so by stripped, you mean all the seats are gone?
Seats are gone. It's just an open container inside.
Yeah, I bet you could.
What would you do?
Make a giant dance floor for dance parties.
I'm trying to remember how much space. So 727s.
Yeah,
I don't know if they have the third row, like the third section.
Yeah, like how wide? I'm just trying to think how wide is it? Is it like 3 and 3, 2
well,
and 2?
Okay. Well, I guess this is easier to decide.
6. Sometimes it's like 6 in the middle and 3 on the sides. So it could be giant.
Well, even with the 727, even if it only had the left side, middle side, even if it had left side, middle side, and right side seating, that's 2 bar carts coming across. So that's 2 stewardesses that can stand up tall. So
you're talking about the height.
Yeah, height.
I'm talking about width. I'm trying to figure out how like wide.
Oh, well, I mean,
obviously it's tall enough because everybody can stand up in it.
Well, if it's long, but it doesn't really matter how wide it is, because then you can have the dance party like lengthwise.
Yeah. So
what would you do about seating?
So you say length is better than width. What about girth? Going back to your vasectomy.
Can you ask me when the stitches disappear?
I'm trying to think.
What would you do? Like you said, dance. Okay, you'd make it a dance place, but like if it's stripped, it's technically already a dance space.
Yeah. Then you'd have to
so what would you do?
I mean, I would put some cool couches in there.
At the front and back of the thing versus the sides.
Yeah.
You don't want to take away from.
I would do the sides. Like I would put couches on the sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
Either side.
So it'd be a really skinny kind of dance. Well, you could.
You can use it as like I mean, if you put couches all the way on each side, you can use it as like a speed dating. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And then charge people, so make money.
Oh, look at you.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, you're thinking how to cover property taxes. Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, the only eyesore would be a freaking plane in your backyard, but other than that,
I don't know.
Good content.
I feel like there's a way to. I think there's more room if you have a spaceship. If you have a spaceship, now you have like this more girth to this thing where it's like
spaceship. Yeah, like a plane is kind of old school, but spaceship is like modern and cool and classy. You know what I'm saying?
When's the last time you've been inside a spaceship?
Yesterday.
Side note, we are going to start a segment on this podcast where we will allow for, because I'll get a bunch of DMs, and I don't know if you do as well.
All the time.
People.
I already know what you're getting at, and all the time.
Oh, I thought you were like, I get a bunch of DMs.
Yeah, I get like 3 a day. It's so much. I can't even respond to them because it's overwhelming.
So a lot of people will send me space and be like, hey, what do you think I should do with this? And I don't think they're asking me how to design it, but I think they're asking me along of like, what would you tear down and how would you go about it?
And I get the designer part of it. Right. So I get like, I have this space and it's so awkward. I don't know where to put these couches or like what color should I paint these walls? Like all the time.
Yeah. So now it takes forever for us to like, it's a lot of work for us to respond back. And then we like the worst thing about responding back to like these big questions like that is because you're like, oh, they're going to have even a bigger like paragraph back about like details.
Once you do respond. Yeah.
So we're going to start a segment on the show where we might call it I don't know, flip this room or something like that. I don't know. Or man, flip this room. I don't know.
Flip your houseies.
What?
Flip your houseies.
Flip your houseies. We'll come up with a good name for it. So, you guys can send in your submissions of a room, space that you just need some creative ideas coming.
Could be an awkward space.
It
could be just something,
Yeah, whether it's, I mean, we've had plenty of houses with awkward spaces. Like, we had one house that had, like, a window, like, in the middle of, like, from one room to the other. You know what I mean? Remember, like, from our tri-level house, from the living room to the kitchen, there's, like, a big window.
Yes.
There is pillars that go up. A bunch of spaces that are just awkward. So, email us your couple of pictures of that space. And where you're trying to, I think, what some of the ideas you have maybe.
Or what you're needing help with, like what the problem is, basically. Sure.
And then email it to, is it hello? Yeah.
Hello at
the nextdoorneighbors.com. So hello at the nextdoorneighbors.com. Again, we'll put the link in the description of the video. And then on the maybe next episode,
we'll dive in. Maybe we'll do like
a segment.
3 to 5, depending on how.
No, let's just do 3. We'll do 3. Yeah, 5 is just way too many.
We'll do 3, but we'll do like a extensive.
Wow.
Maybe not extensive.
Oh, wow. Oh, you want to start a whole different podcast?
Yeah.
Where we just
listen, I'm going to start a podcast.
Cool. Oh, I'll counter your podcast with another podcast.
The Other Next Door Neighbors.
Yeah. 2 neighbors down the street.
Yeah. 2 neighbors down the street.
So send us your submissions at hello at thenextdoorneighbors.com. And then towards the end of the show, we just kind of like we do this new segment. We'll dive in and see if we can help you guys out. So.
Or what we would do.
Yeah, what would we do? Yeah, that's a great way. It's like, what would we do? We're not
what you can do, but
we're not trained professionals. That's what a lot of people think. We're just that's an idea that we'd have.
Yeah.
All right, so here's another next one, and this is more of like a parental heartstring tug.
Ooh.
Arizona man.
I'm already hurting.
Yeah, Arizona man tried kidnapping infant at Flagstaff's grocery store checkout.
What?
So what this guy did allegedly is he was at a self-checkout in Arizona. Yeah, well, Flagstaff is Arizona. And so allegedly what he was doing, he's doing a self-checkout, and then it sounds like next to him was another cart, I think the person checking out in front of him or something like that, and that cart had an infant inside of it.
Right.
I don't know what age that infant is in. After he's done checking out, instead of grabbing his cart, it looks like he grabbed this other gal with this kid and went out with that cart. So he got arrested for it. Let me see if I'm missing any.
Does it say like why?
Because he's crazy.
But so anytime I read these kind of stories or true crime, because you know me and true crime.
Oh yeah.
It's probably whatever my personality is, but I always have to know why. Like why? What were they thinking? What was their motive? Behind it.
So based off of the picture of this guy, I'm gonna turn this down.
That's the motive. The picture.
You know how certain ugly people they just want to do bad.
Do stuff, yeah.
Based off of the picture of this guy, I don't know if it's gonna load in time. Of course, there's an ad. Oh. He looked like he wants to wear people's skin.
Oh, okay.
Now that's me being very judgmental. No offense. If you look like that, that's
sorry.
Keep in mind.
You just look like a person that wants to wear people's skin. So.
I'll tell you this much right now. If I'm at the store and you look like you want to wear people's skin, I'm probably gonna keep my kids real close to me. That's what I'm gonna do.
I won't check out next to you.
Yeah, no. So I'm trying to see if they're gonna pull this guy's up. But no. Oh, he has bags. He has bags, not a cart. And then he grabs this lady's cart that
so
has
it's not like he even mistook like wrong.
The car seat was in the cart, and so he grabbed his groceries
and then just grabbed your cart.
So there was no mistake.
There's no
this looks completely intentional. Now, how do you respond?
I would claw him alive.
Would you really? I know your personality. I've never seen
you know my personality, but when it comes to protecting my children, it's like the mama bear I think would come out.
Now I think
there's nothing I would do anything to protect my child, especially if I see before my eyes like somebody trying to take my child. I don't know.
Would you physically? Okay.
No, I think before I would touch him, I would try to take my child first, obviously.
You would grab the cart
Yes,
first.
I would grab the car seat.
You know,
did he get out of the store?
I don't know if he got out of the store. I don't think he got out of the store. What mom would be that negligent to be like at the self checkout
like, I would just
till this guy leaves? He looked on the camera because it was a short article, but it was mostly on camera. He he grabbed it. They captured it on the camera.
Oh,
and then I think he got stopped. You would have grabbed. I would have grabbed
the child.
It's interesting to me.
What would you have done?
Oh, right away. This is me picturing it. Is I grab their top of their collar in the back of their shirt and the bottom of the shirt.
Jiu-jitsu.
And I just grab and I sling them across as far as I can in the aisle
from the child.
With the intention of them falling on the ground.
Yeah.
My child is safe in the cart at that point on.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're getting the danger away from the child versus me. No. I would take the child away from the danger.
No. I feel like, and this is where, you know, like sometimes you have this feeling where like, so you got the child out of danger, right?
Yeah.
And the child safe.
But the danger's still there.
The danger still is healthy.
Yes.
Not to say he's going to come back and attack your child. I think the danger is
there.
Well, the danger is no longer a threat, right? Because here's I think what's going to happen in these kind of situations. You're going to go, hey, and you grab your kid, and the guy's going to go, oh, and like act stupid and walk out, right? To me, I don't know if I could live with myself knowing that I have allowed my child to be in the custody of a dangerous person for even those 5 seconds.
Right.
So to me, and I don't know if it's the way a guy is wired or maybe the way I'm wired, but like I want them to be pain. Yes. So by me grabbing this guy and flinging it, based off this thing, it looks like it's an infant in a car seat. You know, we would put a car seat inside,
which I do. Which is the safest way.
Sure. I would fling, trying to impose as much pain to the threat as I can, because I already know my child is already in the car. It's just right there.
Yeah.
It's like that satisfaction is like, I want you to learn. That's why I always kind of smile a little bit when I read these articles where Florida man, because of course everything bad happens in Florida. Yeah. Pedophile was about to rape a 13-year-old girl, and local UFC fighter saw it or something like that, or local Marine saw it. And they'll show the face, or a Marine's brother or a Marine's sister was sexually assaulted, and they'll show a picture, and the guy's face is destroyed, like just being into like unrecognizable state. To me, that's like a feeling of like that guy's not dead, but that guy has so much pain like that was imposed on him.
You literally eliminated the threat. Yeah.
You eliminated the threat, but now that guy is gonna walk in fear to know that is something that can happen. Because I always believe there's wolves prey on the weak, right? That was a mom with a child. She's the weak. She's not going to hit him. She's not going to pose any kind of damage. So when I find out a story where a wolf in the wild is now limping on one leg or can only see with one eye, that wolf is going to think twice about trying to impose more on weaker prey again. So it's interesting. Yeah, no, that's disgusting. Crazy. It's absolutely disgusting. There's a lot of like this kind of stuff on the news, and what trafficking that people that's getting on the news.
Yeah.
It's just,
and where this was in Arizona?
This is Arizona.
Yikes. All
right. Let's see this last one. So this one's kind of funny. Oh, it's not funny because it's whatever, but it's a man in Madison, Wisconsin. And I kind of thought about this like before COVID, like in the middle of COVID when it first started. I thought about what's going to happen with people. The stores will say wear masks. And I was like, how do people respond when they want to like attack other people with the fear of like getting COVID or something like that? Like, what's going to keep you from like running a store and be like, oh, I have COVID. Blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yeah. So didn't that happen?
Where?
Well, I guess before the story, when COVID first hit, wasn't there, when all the panic, I guess, was still around in like March, early April, wasn't there a man who was detained and was threatening like the police and saying, I have COVID, and like spitting on them?
Oh.
Was it in California somewhere?
I didn't hear that one.
It's got to be California.
Oh, it has to be Florida or California.
Yeah.
So this guy's in Madison, Wisconsin. And based off of like the end of this article, it's that he is a man on parole, I believe, right? Because then it said he was violating parole. So he was at a store and he was throwing things down, just causing a ruckus, and taking his mask off and like coughing on everybody. Oh my gosh. And when the
Just
police
being a
showed up,
hooligan.
just being a hooligan, I guess. But like when the police show up, this guy, and there has to be some mental issues at this point if this happens. The police showed up, and he put his hand in his pants,
Right.
Waistband, I think that's what I said, and said something about him having a gun. He says, "I have a gun. What are you gonna do? Pop me?" He says, "What are you gonna do? Pop me?" And the police officer at that point took his gun out and hid behind a car.
Right.
Now, he didn't point at the guy, allegedly, based on this article, but he got his gun on because he's like, there's a threat.
If there's a gun, yeah.
And then at that point, that guy drops his pants down to prove that he did not have a gun. So then he was detained and had these allegations.
So he just
against
said
him.
it?
So this is a crazy, he has to be a crazy guy.
What did he
If you're
think?
going to a grocery store coughing on people and saying,
I have
coughing and
COVID.
causing arrest. Well, I don't know if he said I have COVID, but he was just coughing and everybody took his mask off and throwing things off the shelf.
Just being, yeah. Oh my gosh.
How do you react in that situation? If
Well,
you're a target and like some guy's doing that, what's your
I
reaction?
would leave. Right?
Would you proceed with a checkout or would you dump your stuff and like?
Ooh. It depends what I had in my car.
It's so interesting. It would be so interesting for I find it fascinating to see how you respond, right?
I have.
Because you lock up. You've admitted
I do.
You lock up, and so here you have this guy who's.
I
going
think
crazy.
it depends where I am. Like, I feel like when I lock up when I know, it's almost like my body knows if there's somebody else that's gonna
Take care of it?
be the hero or like take care of it. It's like I let my body lock up. If I know nobody's around, I think immediately like my body just takes over, especially if I have my children around.
Okay.
If I don't have my children around, I probably would just be like,
Wait.
what?
So you said, hold on, if I got you correct. So you're saying if let's say I'm around and you know I'm going to go into the threat, that's when you do let your body lock up or you don't let your body lock up?
I think I do because I know, like, it's almost like subconsciously I know you're going to take care of it. And
Okay.
so like my body just goes into like this panic freeze under pressure.
So what happens if I'm not around, you have your kids, and there is that threat?
I think that's when something switches in my
Turns
brain.
on,
Yeah.
saying like, hey,
it has to turn on.
Be
it
alert,
has to.
be alert,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Because at that point, it is like something has to turn on because it's that what I was saying, like the mama bear instinct inside.
I
of
find
you
it fascinating.
to protect your children.
I find it fascinating with you because I know the mama bear instinct.
I mean, obviously, so thankful I've never been in a situation where I had to protect my kids from something.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I was, there would be that immediate, like.
Remember when our last episode we spoke with Adam and Jen, what else about, and I said that
I love that you said Adam and Jen Woodhouse, Mr. and Mrs. Woodhouse.
Because it was like, who's Henderson? But
yeah.
Mr. and Mrs.
What's
Jen
that last
Woodhouse.
name? Never heard of it.
I feel, and I said this, I feel more, there's people who like, Jen is a great shot, that's what Adam said, but she doesn't feel comfortable carrying her concealed carry gun with her. And Adam is comfortable. And with me, I feel more uncomfortable when I don't carry.
Right.
Because in the situation where there is a threat, a crazy person, whatever.
Right.
Even if I don't need to because he's not attacking me, but he's maybe with somebody else and I have the kids with me, we're going for an evacuation.
Right.
I want to make sure that there's nothing that can stand between them and myself and our safety.
Right.
And so that concealed carry weapon on me is that proven factor. Like I have a plan A. Mm-hmm. Well, plan A is always evacuate if you can. Mm-hmm. Avoid conflict. But I have that plan B that's there. And to me, plan B is usually like jujitsu. You know what I mean? Like if it's like non-lethal, if a guy's being a dick or a jerk or.
So there's a plan C.
Using my weapon is always plan C. It's never plan A. It's never plan B. It's always plan C. Like I train jiu-jitsu for a reason. I train it not only for mental clarity, but I also train for like self-defense. Right. I will tell you this, my trainer. If I have my gun on me, and if it's like a thing where it's just me and it's another guy, I will use jiu-jitsu. I will not take my weapon out. I will take my gun out if it's me and the kids, and there's multiple people. Yes, my gun, because I can't protect myself, them, against whatever. I can protect one person at a time.
Right.
So it's interesting to me because I know how you are. I know how you lock up. And so it's kind of interesting to me to see you into that like very alert and aware mode versus like locking up. Because I think I've been in multiple situations with you where it's like not like life threatening, but like just alertness.
And you've
kind of like just kind of follow along, which I think a lot of people would. Like I do that if I'm like in presence of my friends who are like trying to like, we went hunting. And if I have a friend who is like taking lead and like,
you just follow
in the middle of the night when it's pitch black to find a deer trail in like thick bushes, you follow. Yes. If nobody's there, then you take that initiative.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Like I am, because of Disney's.
Grapefruit. Grapefruit? Mm-hmm. Did it work?
Yeah.
You know that trick?
Hold on.
Grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
There's that trick. I was told that you have to say grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
Yeah, which is grapefruit. There's that trick that said if you say grapefruit when you're trying to sneeze, it's supposed to do something to your
So
brain.
Somebody says it to you or you say it?
Oh, well, I think somebody says it to you. Like, your brain has to recognize that word, I think, and it like disengages us.
It's probably just any word. It's just.
Well, I'm sure you can say Trump 2020 and
it'll work.
I guess I'm not sneezing.
Yeah. I'm gonna sneeze in the presence of that word.
Not that word, no.
What was I saying?
Well, you said about following and like.
Oh yeah, like I am a natural follower. I'm not a leader.
God, you're gonna piss off so many feminists out there right now.
No, I mean like in that I honestly it's just my personality. I don't tend to like if we're in a group, I'm not going to be the first one to take initiative. That's just not me. But if we are in a group and there's nobody take initiative, I'm also the person that can't like
get a
sit.
B.
Can't get a B. Can't even get a B plus. Like I will step up if I have to. That's I guess if that. And
that's true.
Sense.
I remember when you were still in school, like you've been in situations where like nobody want to take initiative, so you just
like group projects and stuff. Like if everybody's like me, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do it. Whatever. Nobody's because I can't. I'm such a peacekeeper. I can't let there be like this. Like
you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna experiment something. I think on the next podcast, we're going to have one of your friends on the podcast, and she's your friend and her husband's not joining us, but I'll be your co-host. And I think I'm going to intentionally
start to make us fight or what?
No. Oh. What? No. No, I will try to, because I tend to be more of the initiator, talker, and try to initiate. Right. So what I'm going to try to do is not be involved and see if you could,
how it flows,
if you could lead me.
When I have to, yeah.
No, I think you'll do great. But
I also feel like I am that type of person. I don't like sitting in like silence. Well, I guess I can if it depends on the person. But also in a group setting, if it's like silent, I get really awkward about that.
When there's an awkward silence, just like nobody's talking.
Yeah.
Oh, I think nobody likes that.
Yeah.
I think it's more decent when it's two
some
people.
Some people probably like it.
Like 3 or 4 people, like
in this
nothing
world.
Is more awkward than you have another like couple come into your house after dinner or like whatever,
and it's just silent,
and you just sit there.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had that though, because
we've never had
you. You are always the one to like ask a question or start a conversation.
I would say I'm uncomfortable when it's like I just don't like when there's silence.
Yeah. You have to feel that silence.
Like even with these podcasts, you can listen to it. Like if like there's a certain level of timing where like when you're done talking, I have to jump in and say something because I think as a listener, like you want to
keep going.
Because
into the psychology of
how awkward it would be if we were like
so
what else?
Yeah, we're just drumming our fingers on the.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I think it's normal, but like, yeah.
Back to the article.
Yeah.
Mama Bear, I think we all have it in us.
I hope you never have to exercise.
I hope so too, as well. I hope so. But I will say, I am way more aware when you're not around because I have to be.
I'm glad.
You know what it is? And I think I've told you this before. It's almost like because I have the kids with me so much, I'm so aware that it's almost like when you're around, it's almost like I can finally take a break, if that makes sense. I can finally like rest my mind and my eyes because now you're there.
Yeah. I get to carry with that little flag across.
The flag.
When you cross the streets.
The neon flag.
When I have the neon flag, you guys have to follow me. I'm the line leader.
Yes, you are.
And you guys are the caboose.
Yeah.
No, and I always feel like I go into that role,
you do.
Which I don't mind. It's just I feel like it's just.
Well, you're the one with the gun.
Well, you have a gun too.
I do. Got it.
mine's bigger for sure. And I intentionally bought a bigger gun.
Because
yeah,
you can.
Because I'm shooting blanks now. I'm emasculated.
See, now you have to compensate.
That's another thing. I get a lot of messages about, and we're
being
going
emasculated.
Back at it. Yeah, they're like guys that feel like these are wives telling me that their husbands feel like they're not they're less of a man or something.
How?
Like that when I don't know.
Your parts still look the same. They still perform the same. Hopefully.
Well, they perform the same without the reproduction aspect.
Yeah, which why would you be getting the surgery if you're not ready for that?
Sure, but no, I wonder if it's something like a genetic, like an ancestral thing, or like the animal kingdom thing. Like if you look at the animals, like the whole thing is like
it's all about reproduction.
Like a cow elk is, or a doe is going to be looking for a buck or a bull elk as a suitable dominant animal. Right. Like the way they make their markings and their scratches on the trees is like, or rubs on the trees, like that's like saying, I'm the king of the mountain here.
Well, that makes sense.
And that gal's like, you're going to carry a lineage, with like, and it's such an animal kingdom thing. Like when we were hunting for elk, we were at our spot at 5:00 in the morning, right? And most animals are usually asleep. They start waking up around that 6:00 and start moving around at 7 a.m. And there was a cow call. A cow, which is a female elk, did this very unique call, and that call is usually, it's very distinct, and I can't reproduce it right now, but it's distinct.
You should try to.
It's a special call to wake up their kids.
Oh.
So here are these.
And how do you know that?
Well, they all have different, like, so there's a bull call. There's a bunch of different calls. So like I can pull it up on my phone.
You just distinguish between them.
Yeah, you can distinguish them. And so it was such an animal kingdom kind of thing to be in this presence where like the mom is saying, hey kids, basically get up. We have to start moving right now. Right. Or else. So like here's a calf elk. Let's see if I can get this. So calf elk. Okay.
Sounds like Harper.
Okay. Here's a elk bugle. That's a guy.
That's the one I would think. Yeah.
That's a guy, right? Then this is when they're in the rut.
What's the mating call?
That's the rut, basically.
You definitely can tell it's the rut.
They're going crazy. Like that's like catnip for them, And then there's different bugles too. This is a bull elk and a cow. So basically what I'm going with this is like there's so many different these calls that it's on repeat, huh?
It's still going.
But like it's such a animal kingdom kind of things, like you're a suitable host or a suitable like protector. That's why you'll see like an elk overseeing a bunch of different cow elk, or a buck overseeing a bunch of different does. You don't see a bunch of elk bulls overseeing, like, no, it's like the king. And that's why those guys will like they'll fight. Their antlers will get locked up. So it's a totally
to take that dominance.
Yeah, it's a totally kind of thing. So I think it's like a natural genetic kind of thing that's kind of wired into the back of us. So guys, like I get now. I think maybe some guys are hiding behind the idea of like, oh, like I just don't want somebody to take a scalpel to my Johnson. But I think there are also some of it where like a guy's like, I'm emasculating because I'm useless, basically. You know what I mean? I'm like an elk without
like we
antlers,
were made for that reproduction, and now I can't. Yeah.
To me, I don't think about it that much just because I already now have these kids. I don't, I'm not planning to have more kids. Like I'm not.
Right. We came to this decision. Yeah. And now we don't.
I'm trying to do the dirty now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shoot the blanks, but keep the. The gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Firing.
So that's where we are, and that's how the vasectomy game works.
That's how. Well, I will never look at corn the same. Let me tell you.
Well, we're still gonna eat this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's not corn on the cob.
I should have got some like tri-tip or something like that, frozen tri-tip on it.
Stick it
on my what?
Groin. That's what I was gonna say.
All right, let's wrap this thing up before we lose more followers from this rated R podcast.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We'll have a little disclaimer.
Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Make sure if you want to listen to this, it's available on Apple Podcasts and iTunes, and well, obviously you're seeing this on video, or you're just listening, but it'll be on YouTube video. Most importantly, guys, subscribe, like it, comment, rate us if you're on Apple Podcast. That way they'll be kind of trending in the right direction for growth. And most importantly, share it with your friends. That's how we kind of grow this platform. It's not as a YouTube algorithm. It's a lot of word of mouth. And we want a lot of mouths to have the word.
Yeah. We want a lot of words in the mouths.
All right, guys. You guys will see all the links in the description, including our social media pages and all that stuff.
Yes.
Thanks for following along.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.